everybody. Welcome back to Mortgage Ballers. This is Rich Hanlin, and today we have her. She's right in front of us. There she is in the beautiful green outfit and hitting the camera just right early in the morning. We have Audrey Duval. Audrey, how you doing?
Hey, I'm doing good. I'm so excited to be here. How are you doing?
Doing good. Love doing these interviews. Love getting to meet people. I interact with you and Jamie and everybody electronically all the time, but it's funny how many people I don't actually talk and meet. And so this is kind of cool getting to put a face with the people I talk to and or interact with. A lot of people don't know Audrey's been part of our team that's been helping with Arrive, trying to bring that up to date. We have about 10 people behind the scenes that are jumping in and doing that, and as well as being originators and doing other things. But, in their spare time, they have been helping us bring that project current. So thank you very much for doing that. You guys have burned and turned mountains of paperwork, believe me. But that's not what we're here to talk about, are we?
I don't know. Whatever you want to talk about.
Well, tell everybody where you're at. I know, but where are you at?
Sure. So I'm in Waterford, Michigan.
Okay.
It's only in Michigan. So this is my spot, this is my town. So
how long have you been in lending in any capacity?
So I have been in, I started in retail in 2016. So, for a long time, ever since. So I started in retail, and then I moved to the wholesale channel after 2 years.
That name that shall not be named, retail.
Don't say retail. Okay.
I'm kidding. We got a lot of people from retail.
Oh, okay. Yeah. Well, I mean, it's a good place to start, I guess. So,
when the 2008 crash happened, I went to Bank of America for a little bit.
Okay.
I went to a credit union for a little bit.
Okay.
And then I went to a place called Neighbors Finance. All of them, Mountain West Financial. Almost opened up a Mountain West branch. I stayed there for a year, and they said, okay, we'll let you open up a branch. And I said, actually, I'm going back to the broker world, because I saw the broker rate sheet, and I said, oh, hell no, I'm not selling those rates.
Yep, I don't blame you. That was a huge factor in my decision as well. So
okay.
Sorry.
No, your camera will be fine. The Riverside will kind of calm it down and pull it through for us.
Yeah.
So even if it locks up on your side, it's still recording on my side, and that's what this software does. It's kind of cool.
Okay, perfect.
All right, so I'm going to ask you some questions because I want people to get to know you, both on a business level, also a little more on a personal level, because I want people to know that there's real live people, moms, parents, people that have fun and they're not all just number driven, behind the scenes. What's your favorite part, or do you have a favorite part when it comes to lending and what you do?
Oh, absolutely. My favorite, I would say my niche are first time home buyers. So the best part of it all is when I get to educate the first time home buyers. So educate them on the whole process, right? First off, calming their nerves, right? Making sure that they are in good hands, making sure that we're on the same page every step of the way so that, there's no confusion. But when it's all said and done, they look back and they're like, man, that wasn't even that, I understood it. I can explain it to someone else if they ask me, just educating people, empowering people to make that investment within themselves and for their family. I mean, it is something that can be passed on from generation to generation. Is the best investment. So the fact that I get to educate, empower, and help people achieve that goal is my favorite part of this whole career. So,
well, you're in Michigan, so you're in one of those states where although people live there might not feel this way, but I'm in Georgia now, and I could tell you it's a lot more affordable than California. But I mean, in your area, what's an average first-time home buyer got to pay to get into a house?
So I would say roughly like 200 to 250, but it's slightly getting up there, maybe 300, because, values are increasing. And yeah.
I went to Detroit probably 4, 5, 6 years ago. I can't remember when I first started, but as I was driving back, I always asked Uber drivers, hey, what's this neighborhood go for right here? And I remember he was like, oh, that's like a $90,000 house. That's a $75,000 house. Now when I go back to that's $185,000.
Yeah.
And these aren't, high-end homes. You're getting over there by 8 Mile and all that stuff. But, I still get, and there's some rich sides of any state as well, obviously. But I love seeing value because there's hardworking people everywhere.
Yes.
And what I find is the rents don't necessarily coincide with the values. Like Georgia, I still have someone paying $1,800 a month on a $230,000 house.
Wow.
California, the house is $625 for that same exact house built by D.R. Horton, and they get $2,500. So the economies of scale are not equal, but there is a baseline as you get into these houses. Right now, Ohio is a big deal. You can buy a house for $100,000, but you're getting $900 to $1,000 in rent for a 2-bedroom, 1 bath. It's kind of crazy.
But no one really wants to live
Love
it
that.
over. Just kidding.
Now, here's a question: do you do loans on your own? Are you part of a team?
So,
How are you doing it here at Expert Home Lending?
so I generate my own leads. However,
Okay.
the person that actually, introduced me to Expert Home Lending is Jamie Newman. She is our like branch manager, our team lead or whatever.
Mm-hmm.
She honestly took me under her wing, and I've been doing this for a long time. And if with her help and like the way she, structures loans, like the way her brain works, really helped I would say it changed my career, and it made me more confident in, my approach to, getting out there, getting business, maybe even trying, those harder loans. She taught me, she is my support. She's there for me. So like Expert is huge because I have been with other brokerages, and, nothing against them, but the support is unmatched. Like I cannot find the support anywhere. And it really is all, thanks to Jamie. She will be there anytime, any day. Like it doesn't matter. She'll drop everything to
She
help
doesn't
you out.
sleep, is what I figured out. She
No,
never sleeps.
it's a machine. so yeah.
People are going to hear that name come up a lot. Here's a little story about Jamie. I met her for the first time right after she came over from Barrett Financial. We were at a UWM event. I think it was a realtor event. And
Okay.
I met her with her long dreads and everything going on.
Yep.
And this little short person. And by the end of that weekend, I told her, you're going to be one of the top people in this industry within the next couple of years. When I started figuring out her work ethic and all that she does from real estate, holding down multiple jobs, the heart that she has to help other people.
Yeah.
I think she lived at UWM last year. They must have given her an apartment or something because she was there like 50 weeks out of
Yes,
52.
she was. Yes.
But she's always educating herself. I told her the other day something about, in California, there's 2 licenses, and the DRE, you can do this, this, and this. She goes, oh my gosh, I need to go get that. And I'm like, okay, like just that fast, you're going to go get it. She goes, oh yeah, I can do it really quick. And I'm just like, and she's constantly adding more licenses.
Yes.
But she's helped me on a couple transactions as well, which is kind of cool because it's like, here, Jamie, I can't do this right now. You go do it because I know you're not afraid to take on
Exactly.
those harder deals. And
Yes.
she has a very big range of, she uses a lot of our lenders and
Yes.
understands the variance in products. She's not just a UWM or a kind.
Exactly.
I mean, she gets deep into those things. So, but her name's going to come up in a lot of interviews because
Oh, for
she
sure.
has a
She is
team. She's
the
helping with Arrive, different things.
Yes.
So I do like that.
She is the reason why I'm at Experts.
Right
I would
on.
have, what I mean? I was introduced to Jamie, and then she kind of gave me the spiel. I was, sold, and then that's it. The rest is history.
I'm sold.
Yep, I'm sold.
All right, here's a question. I love asking this question because surely you're not working 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. Maybe you are, but
No.
when you're not in loan mode, tell us a little bit. What do you do to deactivate your mind, and or when you do have spare time, what kind of stuff do you like to do?
Okay, that's a good question. I mean, I'm a mom, so I have 2 toddlers, a 4 or
Okay.
5 year, and I also have a stepson who's 16. So a free time, it's not really common, because if I'm sitting, then I feel like I'm wasting time. I could be cleaning or doing something. However, I did, recently, like, I'm trying to make it an intentional slowing down, being in the present, enjoying myself more. So I really enjoy singing. So I used to sing for
Really?
church. Yes.
Wow. Okay.
And I record myself on video and I post it because that's just who I am. Like
I like it.
yeah, I that literally makes me happy. It calms me, like, and I would say that's like my only hobby because I don't really have time for hobbies, but like, yeah, I enjoy it. It's one thing that I really enjoy. is singing. So
At my last company, Answer Home Loans, we had this husband and wife come on, and I was talking to the wife one day, and she said, actually, I was on the original American Idol,
no
and
way,
we went all the way back, and we saw her sing Somewhere Over the Rainbow. That was her
no way.
call to fame. But she was on was it Justin Morini and all those, like the very
No
first
way. Yes,
American Idol, Kelly Clarkson.
yes. Oh
And it
my
was funny
God.
watching it, because I think she was like one of the original like top 12, and then or something like that. It was just kind of interesting um, how fast. I was like, good Lord, you think that was just yesterday. It was like, oh my gosh, that was like 15 years
Yeah,
ago.
how long ago was that? That was a long
It
time.
had been a while, and now
Oh,
she's
yeah.
a mom and all that stuff. But it was just, everybody has a story behind the story. And I
Yeah.
love hearing that, because I think people, oh, she just wants to talk to me about loans. It's like, no, I don't think you understand. She's a mom too. And
Yes.
guess what? She is singing in church choir, and she loves to sing. And guess what? You do too. And if we can show how human we really are, that on top of it, if you have a question, I can also answer some questions.
Yes.
I answer lots of questions. That is kind of how I have built my business. People can ask me anything. I'm not going to sell them, and they feel comfortable in that. And sometimes I'll turn them away and say, hey, I don't think this is good for you, but I'm glad you asked me, because I think if you hold on for 6 months, can you do this, and we can get a little better or something like that.
I love
But
that.
we're going to be starting a series, because a lot of people say I need more loans. I'm like, no, you don't need loans. You need conversations.
Yeah.
Conversations turn into apps turn into loans turn into fundings. And a lot of people just say, I need the money. They always go straight to the end result.
Yes.
And I'm like, no. And I've got 2 interviews coming today with 2 of our top people. The number one, Stephanie Gilbert, and then a top 10 is Catherine Barnett. And you're going to see something different, that they create conversations in everything that they do. And the more conversations you have, the more leads you can build, the more platform you can build, and the consistency starts to follow. But we're going to be starting a series on that probably next week,
I love
specific to expert home lending, because a lot of people need business right now. They need loans right now. I'm like, cool, I can't get you loans, but I can get you conversations.
Yes.
Let me show you how to
That
do
is
that
like my
side. So,
that is my thing. Like, I'm a mom. I'm busy. So like I market myself. Like when I go to the gas station, when I go to my Rite Aid, I literally close the loan for my girl at the Rite Aid right down the street. Like I am like the living, breathing, you're marketing yourself anywhere you go, the kids' school, like, make sure you mention it that you're a mortgage broker. I mean, everyone needs to buy a house. They have to live somewhere, so might as well market it wherever you go. So that's what I do for sure. So
people always say, oh man, you're always wearing hats. I'm like, yeah, I have a billboard hat that I can put like up to
yeah,
18 words on it, and it goes across and it changes colors. And
I love
they're like, well, gosh, you're so silly. And I'm like, yeah, but I've had like 100 conversations today because of this stupid hat that you call,
Yep.
you know, I would dare you to be a little bit different, rather than assuming that everybody has to be the same. I don't really wear suits and ties because it's not comfortable to me, and that's not the best me. And I found out that the best me is good enough. And if either you like it or you don't, but I'm not going to be who I'm not. I've done that before, and
Love
didn't
that.
work very well for me. And by the way,
Yeah.
I like to sing too. Matter of fact, Smule, Smule, I think is the app. And it's like a karaoke act type thing. It records. And for anybody who has that app, I'm on there, and
Yeah.
I don't sing. I do a lot of backup singing when
Okay.
people want to be on the front, and I'll come in behind them and freelance with them to help get their song better, because it helps sometimes if you have somebody on some of the
Yeah.
songs. But I enjoy doing that, and people hear it and go, "You've got to be kidding me! I didn't know Rich did that."
You said,
But I like to have fun too. I guarantee you're better than me.
I mean,
Um,
I wouldn't go that far, but I just, I do not like, I'm not scared to post my voice. You know what I mean? Like, people are like, oh, people, what are they going to think of me? This is who I am. You know what I mean?
there you
Like,
go.
so
You need to
like
come
it
up
or
with a loan officer song and sing your
that's what I'm trying.
advertisements. I
Yes.
think no one does that yet.
Yes.
I would
I'll
listen to
try to
it.
do. I agree.
Matter of fact, if you need to have me record it, we can set up a
Yes,
little
I would
studio in your
more than
house and get it
happy to.
done. You could be the song behind all the Mortgage Baller videos.
Yes, I would love that. I swear.
Okay, talk to me in your area. Everybody's in different areas.
Yes.
And I just talked to somebody in Orange County yesterday, average home buyer, first time home buyer buying $1 million house.
Wow.
You know,
Yeah.
we talked about your neighborhood, like 200, 220, or something like that. What are you, but yet we're all in the same economic situation. We have the same rates in Orange County as we do in Michigan. So it's like that person sitting on the fence out there, knowing what you know, what would you tell that person if they were watching this right now saying, okay, Audrey, you got X amount of time to convince me to get off the fence because I'm just going to keep renting. You can't change my mind. What would you say?
I would say, you know what, that is your decision. However, logically speaking, when you're paying your rent, right, that's 100% interest. If you're sitting there waiting for these interest rates to go down, right, meanwhile paying 100% interest for your rent, right, make that make sense. Like make it make sense. You're literally wasting time where you could be paying a mortgage payment and building that equity for your own investment for your future. So don't waste time. Don't throw money down the drain. Don't rent. Invest in yourself so that you can get that equity as soon as possible and you can make that your money work for you, period. I mean, but mortgage rates will never be 100%. So when renters, are sitting there waiting for the interest rate to go down, blah, 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 it's like, meanwhile, you're paying 100% interest, right? Like that's your rent payment is 100% interest. Mortgage rates will never be 100% interest. So it just doesn't make sense. If you break it down and see how much what that can do for you in the future, right? Let's say you have kids who are going to go to college or a car breaks down or whatever, like you have that equity, you have that investment, you have that backup. And it's the best backup ever because it's yours, right? Like you're borrowing from yourself. And it's a lower interest rate than, let's say, credit cards. Credit cards are really high, those are 18, 24%, whatever, and even personal, like unsecured personal loans, right? You can get a better interest rate. Oh, and you're borrowing it from yourself. I mean, it's just a good investment.
Yeah.
It makes sense and it can literally back you in for the future. Just makes sense, right? Like, I don't force people to do something, but like if you break it down logically, it just makes sense, right? Because rent, you have to have a good credit score. You have to have 3 times the income of that monthly rent, right? You have to make that. So these qualifications are literally almost the same as getting a house. So why are we
Pretty much nowadays.
Yeah, why are we spending $6,000 on a security deposit when you can literally put that as a down payment? And sometimes you don't even have to. I can get you down payment assistance. You know what I mean?
Right.
So yeah.
Well, I'm going to make one correction. It's not 100% interest. It's 99.98 because you do get $60 write-off if you renter credit on your tax return.
Oh, okay. See, I didn't know.
After you pay 10 to 12 to 15 grand in rent, they will give you $60 write-off on your state tax. I'm like,
okay, so yes.
What is that?
So you have to pay $12,000 to $15,000 and then you get $60.
Yeah,
okay.
That's
Good to know.
I never thought about that way. That's actually the first time anybody ever explained it that way, but you're right. There is zero return on that investment. You can't gain any appreciation. You're not going to gain any principal reduction. You have no opportunities. I was listening to a guy the other day and he said, so many people play life small. They need to learn to play life bigger. I want to have my $200,000 house paid off before I'll ever take another chance. It's like, well, but you could take the equity, keep that house, and buy the second house. Now you have $500,000 in real estate that can go up 10%, and you have somebody paying down your principal over here, and you're paying, think bigger, because if you're only going to get 5% a year, why not 5% on 20 properties? You can say, Rich, that's too big. And I'm like, let me tell you what, the hardest one I ever did was my first rental property.
Okay.
And I still own that rental property. Actually, I don't own that one because I lost that. Correction. I lost that one in 2008, so I didn't have it. So I had a couple rental properties back then. I tried to block that time out of my mind, 2008 to 2012. Oh, Audi check. I lost a lot of things during that time, but I learned a lot. And a matter of fact, did I learn a lot? Yes, because Answer Home Loans, which led me to open up Expert Home Lending, all came from what I learned during that downturn. I was able to review and say, oh, I need to change this, 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 and this. And I had to get my confidence back, starting out in my house again, going, okay, I'm gonna try this again. And with UWM, Elisa Budd,
Yes,
I had two employees, myself and one other loan officer when we started Answer Home Loans.
wow.
And she was my AE, and we grew that company to 150. I think we were doing 850 deals a month. And we got to number 4 at one time in the nation, like in 20 and 21 when everybody was doing well. But
Yeah, but wow.
now she's one of my partners. So helping me
Awesome.
build Xpert, which now we're at 625 loan originators in 44 states. I blink an eye. It all starts somewhere with just taking a step.
Yes,
So many people are afraid to take the one step, but somebody's going to take that step. And
absolutely.
everybody's happy when everybody's talking about taking steps, but when someone finally does, they want to say, oh my gosh, are you crazy? And then if you have any success, they want to beat you up anymore and go, oh gosh, that person is stepping away from. Nobody wants to see the other person get ahead, which is sad. But that's when you start to find out who your real friends are. Your friends will lift you, push you, and
Yes,
get behind you. And the people who think they're your friends are going to keep pulling you back. What if? What if? What if? Well, I'll tell you what, if I died tomorrow, I don't want any what ifs.
yes.
I can't
Love
take
that.
nothing with me, so why not lay all my cards on the table and give it a shot? That's how
Yeah.
I play. That's how I play this game.
You never know unless you try, right?
Yeah, and talking about it, we both had a loss in the last year. Life is not guaranteed, no matter what you think. And either you get busy living and trying and stop being afraid of your own shadow, or
Yes,
your shadow will win.
absolutely. Absolutely. I could not agree more.
I love it. I love it. Hey, I always like to ask people, do you have any questions for me? Maybe you don't, but obviously sometimes people want to ask me questions.
I do have a question for you.
Uh-oh,
So,
here we go.
well, no, I think I hope it's a good one. So,
They're all
what,
good ones.
like, how, I guess the question is like, the kind of similar to what you asked me, like, what drives your passion for, this mortgage industry? Like, how did you get started with this? And like, is this like your passion? And like, what part of it is your passion, I guess, that drives this whole thing?
That's a good question. I'm going to answer it truthfully.
I
And
like that.
maybe people don't want to hear this. I used to be all about getting borrowers. And then I also had a few loan originators and I would help them get borrowers. And I would take this big chunk of commission off of them. And, I thought that's how the game worked. And then I started rethinking it when I got crushed in 2008. And I was like, gosh, I didn't really do anything wrong, but it wasn't recession proof. I had met a few people that said, Rich, there's always purchases. And so I was only refinance only up to the 2008 crash. I did 10 years, the 91 to 2008, all I did was refis.
Wow.
2008 to 2012, I did a lot of things, but I kept all my licenses. And I thought, what do you mean there was purchases the whole? And I started researching. I'm like, oh my! Not only there are purchases, not all states got crushed like California. So
Right.
that was interesting. And I started rethinking things. And I came across some people that said, you're going to either reinvent yourself or get out. And so my heart changed and I said, you know what? My customer is the real estate agent and my customer is the loan originator that wants to go under my platform.
Love it.
Their customer is the borrower and the buyer. I'm going to stop going after those people and I'm going to start going after and helping my realtors look good. I'm going to start trying to help my loan officers keep more money. And so we started, because I knew what they do, the weekends away from family, stuff like that, almost losing a marriage over it. But, I know what my people are doing to get business and they're living that same life. And I'm like, they deserve more of the commission. How low can I get this? People are like, you'll never make it. And we went after quality people that had those relationships and said, okay, how can I help? Rich, I know the programs. Let's get great AEs to back us that can help those deals get through. And as the volume goes up, whether people like it or not, you get the best that each company has to offer when it comes to the AEs. As the volume goes up, people say, well, you got 126. Right, but I've got 100 of those lenders. We give one loan a year. So I don't get their best, but there's 26 that I do get their best. And it opens up doors and platforms for my loan originators. It opens up platforms like our Facebook group where
Absolutely.
you have top people in the nation answering questions of anybody all times of day and night. I love that we have the three that, well, actually Hawaii is 6 hours. We have people in Hawaii, but there's always somebody out there willing to help another person.
Yes.
That's what I envisioned when Xpert was kind of put together. It started with my answer home loans, but that was mainly California. And then
Okay.
somebody came in one day, I'm not kidding, because Brittany's here, and she said, I just had like the best life-changing year of my life. We just bought a property. We're going to build a house. I never thought that was possible. I just want to say thank you, but why aren't you doing this in other states? Like, I have friends that work in other states. They would want this platform. And I always kept that in mind. And after 20 and 21, when things were crazy, I knew they were going to slow it down. I said, okay,
Absolutely.
I've already been through this. I'm going to get out of California and I'm going to go where I know the business will still be there. I'm going to get favorable tax options from a corporate and personal
Love it.
standpoint.
Yep.
And I'm going to get into multiple states. I'm going to take the platform that's successful. I'm going to also have recruiting so that people can share in those profits. And 86% of our people were recruited by somebody within our company.
Yes.
And
Yes.
some people get $200 a month. I got one person getting 30 grand a month. He's recruited 86
Wow.
people,
Wow.
and before he does a single loan, and he's one of our top originators in the company.
Wow.
So
Okay. Yeah.
he's leveraging everything
That's
to
huge.
his advantage. And those are the best checks that we send out every month are those recruiting to say thank you. Because otherwise, a lot of people hire recruiters. And I'm
Yes.
like, I have the best recruiters. What are you talking about?
I love that.
I get to talk to them every
Love
day. That's my passion. So people say, so your passion isn't for the borrower. No, because if I'm going to focus on the borrowers, then I can't focus on my people. I can't, I tried to do both and I don't want to be okay. I want to be the best I can be for my people so they can be the best for the borrowers. Otherwise, people just bypass them and go to me. And I don't want that because they're bypassing incredible people like you that are able to help them full time, answer their questions, be there for them, hand walk them through. When my people call me, they get me from 5:01 p.m.
Right.
until about 7 p.m. because I'm running a company for the rest of the day before that. And I'm like, is that really what's best for your transaction? Now, I have some big investors and we work a little differently, but a first-time home buyer, they need hand-holding.
Oh, absolutely. They
They
do.
can't wait till 5 o'clock every day to get answers.
No, no, they cannot. You know, having that support and having that communication, that open line
Right.
is huge. I mean, first time homebuyers are my absolute favorite because I think the mortgage process is complicated and dry and boring. And I can't believe that this is actually my career because I'm not dry. I'm not boring, but this is not about, it's not about the mortgage. It's about someone, trusting you to
Mhm.
guide to the biggest purchase of their life. This can change their life for the good, right? Like it's so many different aspects of it where it makes it so exciting for me, so motivating for me. And when you see that light bulb go off, you know what I mean? Like finally, right? With the first time home buyers, and you see that light bulb, like it just clicks, then you know your job is, you did a good job. Your job is done. So
I
I
love
love
that
it.
too.
Yeah. I just
No, I
love it.
like it. All right. I just captured you for 30 minutes. The person that didn't know if she wanted to be on camera, but yet we now know that she records herself singing. We know she's a mom. We know she has older kids, younger kids. We know that she goes 100 miles an hour, has a heart for first-time home buyers. We know that she's helped on our platform with the back end of a ride, bringing that current. We know that she's part of the Jamie Newman clan, which spans the whole United States because she uses
Absolutely.
technology to her advantage.
I thought it
But
was special.
I like all of it, all of it.
Well, I appreciate it. This was a great opportunity. And I honestly, your work and like what you just said about Expert, it shows in the brokerage. And I really do appreciate it. Like, this is the best brokerage that I've ever been a part of. And the support is amazing. And I think you guys are doing a great job. So
Well, I
your
appreciate it.
really, really shows. So I appreciate you. I
Right
really
on.
do.
Well, there you have it, people. That is the Audrey Duval giving us her time straight from Michigan this morning. And I want to say thank you for meeting up with me early.
Okay.
People are going to enjoy this interview. We're going to get it out there to not only expert people, but to the world so that they can see you. And I just want to say thank you again for taking the time out of your day and spending 30 minutes with me to let me capture you on video so that people can know who you are, what you're about, and they could relate with you and put a face to the voice, to the emails, to the social media. But I challenge you to keep singing. I challenge you to keep smiling because it's contagious. But thank you so much for your time today. I do appreciate it.
Thank you. I really appreciate all that you do for us. So thank you so much.
Well, there you have it, people. That's a wrap. Mortgage Ballers coming out. Give us a like. Tell us what you think. And until next time, stay thirsty, my friends.
Love it.